Atomic structure and periodic table mid-unit test. Number 1. 4 students were asked to name the parts of an atom that determine the atom's identity, or name, and chemical properties. The students' responses are shown in the table below. Student 1 says you get the name from the neutrons and the chemical properties from the electron cloud. Student 2 says you get the name from the protons and the chemical properties from the valence electrons. Student 3 says you get the name from valence electrons and the chemical properties from protons. Student 4 says you get the name from the electron cloud and the chemical properties from neutrons. Which student's responses are correct? It is not student 4. So it is student 1, student 2, or student 3. Number 2. How many protons, neutrons, and electrons are an atom of hafnium, HF, with an atomic number of 72? So use your periodic table on the back, find this element, number 72, and either fill out the panema or fill out 8-man based on what you know how to fill out. Fill it out and choose the correct answer. Number 3. Group 18 of the periodic table is the noble gases, all of which A, are liquid at any temperature, not B. C, are missing one electron in their outer last shell, or D, have filled valence electron shells. What do you know about noble gases? Number 4. An atom of the element has 36 protons, 36 electrons, and a mass number of 84. How many neutrons are in this atom? So use your periodic table to find this atom, fill out panema or 8-man, and how many neutrons, and bubble it in. Number 5. Students were examining a lustrous, which is shiny, element that has the properties of high density and is conductive, which means can have electricity go through it, and is non-flammable. Which element were the students most likely seeing? So it's shiny. Think of metals, metalloids, and non-metals. It is not A. Is it B, hydrogen, atomic number 1, C, carbon, atomic number 6, or D, chromium, atomic number 24? Number 6. Again, number 6. A chemist is identifying the elements in a sample of seawater. What tells you the element's identity or its name? What tells you the name of an element? Is it A, the number of protons, B, the number of neutrons, C, the location of valence electrons? It is not D. Number 7. Iodine has an atomic number of 53 and is neutral. How many electrons does iodine have? So use your periodic table, fill in your panema and 8-man, whichever one you want, and then how many electrons do you have? How many electrons? Number 8. In the early 1900s, many scientists thought that the atom contained a positive substance with negative charges scattered throughout the substance. Then Ernest Rutherford completed an experiment that changed what is known about an atom. His discovery led to an understanding that an atom is mostly space width. So which of these describes an atom? Is an atom A, proton, orbiting and going around a nucleus made of electrons and neutrons? B, electrons orbiting and going around a nucleus made of protons and neutrons? C, neutrons and protons orbiting or going around a cloud of electrons? It is not D. Number 9. The model of the atom is shown below. So you have your protons and neutrons in here, which are hard to tell, but you have your electrons around the outside. Which element is shown by the model of this atom above? So use your periodic table. Figure out which element this is. Is it boron, carbon, neon, or sodium? What do you count up to find out which one it is? Number 10. Is this Bohr model above of this atom, is this reactive or non-reactive? Is this reactive or non-reactive? Number 11. What determines the reactivity of an atom? A, the number of protons. B, the number of neutrons. C, the location of valence electrons. Or D, the number of valence electrons. What tells you the reactivity? It is not B. Number 12. Element R, which is 12 protons, and element Q, which is 20 protons, so look at those on your periodic table, have the same number of valence electrons. These elements both have similar chemical behavior, but element R has fewer electron levels than element Q. Which statement best describes the positions of the two elements on the periodic table? So find these on the periodic table, 12 and 20. Find those. Is it A, they are in the same period with element R as the first element in the period and element Q as the last element? B, they are side by side in the same period with element Q to the left of element R? C, they are in the same group with element R just above element Q? It is not D. (13) Students in science class made flashcards so they could quiz one another about the periodic table. One of the flashcards has information about the following two elements, element L and element M. Atoms of element M have 2 more valence electrons than atoms of element L. Atoms of element L are more reactive than atoms of element M. Both elements are metals. So they're both metals. The students had to use this information in the flashcards to find the possible position of those two elements. So using this information, where would you place those elements? Is it A, B, or D? So it's either A, B, or D. Number 14. Using the Bohr model, identify the element's name. So what tells you the element's name on here? Protons, neutrons, electrons. Which element is this? And then, is this atom above here, is it reactive or non-reactive? Number 16. Which of the Bohr models below shows an atom of the element phosphorus with an atomic number of 15? So use your periodic table. Has atomic number of 15. Do your Panema or do your 8-man and see which one of these is correct. It is not D. Number 17. What force in newtons is needed to move an object with a mass of 23 kilograms and acceleration of 25 meters per second squared? Remember, force equals mass times acceleration. So use these. We have a mass of 23, acceleration of 25. Number 18. Which of the following describes all the possible ways that an object accelerates? Is it A, an object moves with constant speed. B, an object moves with changing velocity. C, an object has no speed. It's not D. Number 19. Student 1 uses a force of 10 newtons to a wooden board in order to slide it across a table to student 2. If the force of friction is against the student's push is 4 newtons, what is the net force on the board? So we have a force of 10, friction is 4. What is my net force? And number 20. When a person is sledding down a hill, where is the kinetic energy the greatest? A, once they have stopped. B, almost at the bottom of the hill when they are going the fastest. C, right after they have left the top of the hill. It is not D. So when is kinetic energy the greatest?